Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids. In today's video we're doing two things. First of all, pulling some shards. Classic, you gotta love it. We're pulling shards obviously for the Morrigaine fusion. And then the second thing, we actually have the news on the faction tournaments that are going to be running for the next 3 weeks. So we're going to dive into that, talk about the factions that have been assigned to each dungeon, and what sort of teams we would build. But yeah, first of all, we've got the summon rush for the Morrigaine fusion. This was pretty much as I expected. It's pretty much a carbon copy. 2,150 points for the rare here. It's the same as the Morrigaine fusion. Pretty rough, right? It's pretty rough. The rest of the rewards for this are okay. Like the big soul essence is nice. The feast is nice. There's only 2 legendary skill tomes in here though. I'm going to be honest. I think if you're early game, like this stuff is pretty good, but I don't know. Like I'm not really sold on the XP barrel. I don't really need feast for anymore, so that sort of thing. So I don't know. It's up to you. I think it's very expensive for shards to max out. We're going to pull 4 sacred shards, and then I'm going to do the rest with mystery shards while doing the champion training. That's on right now. Just going to grind out the champion training, burn through a bunch of green shards, and that's going to be what I do. So let's dive in. Of course, I don't have any of these 3 champions. I would like to get all of them. I do have plenty of husks and allure. Don't need any of those, so I don't really care. Theodore is by far the one I want most out of this, no question. But I don't have the other 2, so they would be cool. My most wanted champion at the moment is honestly probably Elva Autumnborn, the new legendary. Oh, we're starting with an epic. Okay, rear guard. Good epic for clan boss and early game stuff. Kind of underrated, actually. But yeah, Elva, and then obviously Duchess, Lady Kimmy, the standard stuff. We've got ourselves a Galcut, also kind of underrated. Decent damage dealer, which actually he could be kind of all right, you know? For these faction tournaments that we are seeing. If you ever stuck needing to do Ogren tribes, this guy might not be a bad damage dealer if you don't have the legendaries, right? He'll do more damage than a Bellower probably. Oh, another epic. Okay, it's Siege Hulk, also a good one for Ogren tribes. Increased attack on himself, AoE decreased defense. Gets kind of forgotten about because Ugo's in that faction, and of course you would build Ugo first because she's so good for Hydra. Last one, is it gold? No! Not a gold. Okay, we got Gorgrab again. Really good. Really good. And we might want him. You might want him for the faction tournament. So there we go. Obviously coming in with the revive. Mini Arbiter. His base speed is bad, right? That's the big thing that I feel sets him apart from Arbiter. Whereas you might go in, let's say I had Arbiter Seeker versus Gorgrab Seeker. I got Seeker as my first epic, and that's what I did use. Look at Gorgrab's base speed, guys. 97. He's very slow. Seeker's not crazy fast, but 103 is a bit better, so in this case, you'd be much better off having Seeker as your fastest champion, and you're just using Gorgrab for the nice speed aura. Whereas when you get Arbiter is faster than Seeker, so then you would switch it up, and you put your fastest gear in the Arbiter, and have her go first, and then Seeker second, right? So it's about, you know, juggling the base speeds. Base speed stuff is really important. It's part of why I really like Morrigaine, for example, 112 base speed, and this new epic as well. Unfortunately, we didn't get her, Ruella. She also has crazy base speed with the turn meter boost, which is kind of interesting. I'm excited to see more stuff with her. I know a lot of people do like her, but there we go. That was that. Not too bad. We'll just grab these rewards. I'm going to burn through them right after the, the video is over, of course. Let's look at this then. So, faction tournaments. Everyone participated in the faction tournament poll. I actually did a video on this. And here are the results, and this is the schedule. So, Thursday, November the 10th. So that's in just under 1 week from now. And it's going to be up from Thursday to Sunday. Fire Knight Castle with Demon Spawn faction. Then Sunday, November 13th. So picking up right after to the Wednesday, it's going to be Spider with Dark Elves. On Wednesday 16th to November 19th, it's going to be Dragon with Knights Revenant. And then from the Sunday the 19th to Tuesday 22nd, it's going to be Ice Golem with Undead. So this is basically what's happening is this is going to be the downtime between fusions, right? We have Morrigaine fusion. There's a week left on this. As soon as basically coming up to the end of this is when these events are going to kick off. And these are the things you're going to do between the fusion. And it should probably be ending. I mean, Tuesday, 22nd of November is not unlikely to be a date for a fusion. There could easily be a fusion starting then. It wouldn't be crazy. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. You might actually be quite open to being able to do these. Let's talk about this. So Demon Spawn for Fire Knight. I think this one, I'm pretty happy with that one. I don't think I voted for that. I can't remember if I voted for it or not. I think it's actually totally legit, though. Of course, it comes down to allure. If you have allure, if you don't have an allure, I do think it's fairly difficult. Skimfos does come in. If you have him, he has a full turn meter steal, so that is an option. You've got good multi-hit, like Urtikata, I think does a lot of multi-hits. Like, yeah, lots of multi-hits to knock down the shield. Magnar to nuke. You've got good stuff there. Krutraxa, if you have her. I mean, you probably don't, but if you do, Helicath, I'm sure, will make this much easier as well for everyone that has a Helicath to keep the shield down. So I think this should be fairly straightforward. I do think it's a bit of a bummer. This is a faction with a very accessible HP burner here from Doom Tower normal that I think would definitely have helped with, and lots of like Drexar even as well. It would have been a good one for Spider. Very straightforward, but that's okay. So Demon Spawn. Let me know what your teams would be. My team is likely to be one Allure, I think is all I'll need. I'm probably going to use a Krutraxa in there. I'll use a Kymar for a reset. Then stuff to nuke the waves. I don't know, maybe Sissia, Kanderfon, something like that. Just blow up the waves. Kind of a big old pay-to-win team. Maybe I'll use Magnar instead. I don't know. We'll figure out. Yeah, we have the depending on which stage I end up running, we do have the option for like Gorlos Magnar to like decrease defense, nuke the wave, Kymar reset. So I'm pretty happy about it. I'm going to smash through it pretty quick. Next up then, we have Sunday to Wednesday is going to be Dark Elves for Spider. So I did vote for this one, and I honestly thought that this one was maybe a little bit mean on my part in the sense that this is really the Cold Heart one. If you have Cold Heart, this is easy. Very easy, in fact. You probably need at least 2 though. So if you don't have any Cold Hearts, this is gonna be pretty tough. It's gonna be pretty tough. You could probably still get through, but it depends on what you have. Cold Heart is definitely really good here. If you've got Lydia, there you go, as a decreased defense and weaken. You can have Vizix come in, decrease speed, and then really good at controlling the Spider's turn meter with just her A1. Like you could set her to open with her A2 and then disable A2, A3, just have her spamming A1, keep the turn meter down. But I think it could be a little bit rough, this one. It's really like, you know, if you're like me and you can come in and go, okay, Lydia and whatever, 3 Cold Hearts or maybe a 4th Cold Heart just to be safe, and we just kill the Spider, bam, like that on stage 20. It's going to be very quick to farm. If you don't have it, then it's going to be more difficult. So let me know, like, if you are limited on Cold Hearts, what are you thinking? I will do videos on these when we come up to them as well, where I build up some teams and show you more in depth. This is just my initial thoughts. Night Revenant for Dragon. I think this is a bummer. I think Night Revenant would have been really good for Ice Golem. So I'm a bit bummed out by that. But Night Revenant for Dragon. Dragon is so easy. I think this is straightforward. The downside of Night Revenant is that they're very legendary focused. They do have good epics, but nothing that's really going to help with Ice Golem or with Dragon. I do think for Dragon, Whisper is an undersung hero here. Watch my Whisper Hydra video if you haven't. Go watch Madcapper. He's another YouTuber. He was the one who discovered how good Whisper actually is. She is so underrated. It's criminal. She's going to rip that dragon apart. That's a good option. Obviously, I've got legendaries. I actually pulled a second Calvalex recently. I'm going to go in with double Calvalex, and that's pretty much it. Dreng's a good one for some burning. Obviously, Tomb Lord or Narma can be really good for poisons. Yeah, so for me, this is going to be very easy. Dragon's very easy. You also do have the option for resetting waves at Renegade, which is kind of cool too. So yeah, very straightforward. Rector Drath would like hard carry it if you got it, or Doom Priest to cleanse your team, keep them alive, and maybe even like Sinacia or Sepulcher Miscreated. You've got a lot of good options there. And then the final one is, of course, Undead for Ice Golem. This is one I'm not a fan of. Undead from Ice Golem. So I think the issue here is that there's not many. Is there a decreased defense champion in this team? I don't think there is. So I'm just like, the waves are going to be really annoying, right? How do you do AoE decreased defense here? I'm not super familiar with even the legend. I think Suzerain does it. Weaken, and they just, okay. So it's a bit awkward. It's awkward. Maybe there is somebody and I'm blanking on it, but there's not many. So I think that's going to be kind of tricky if you don't have the legendaries. You can, of course, solo Ice Golem with Ultimate Death Knight in a poison set. That's an option. Of course, another very good option is using a Frozen Banshee to solo the Ice Golem boss. That's a really good option. Put her in a regen set, build her tanky, and she will solo the boss reasonably quickly. So that's something that you can do as well. But it's going to be kind of a pain. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about this one. I will be honest. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe throw in a couple of Vogots so we don't need to worry about it. Maybe a Dark Elhain of Vlad to nuke the wave. And then I might bring in Eurost, actually. I might bring in my Eurost, but you need to be playing the game a good while to get him. But I think he could be all right. But yeah, I don't know. There's options, but I'm not seeing a real way to do it really quickly is the issue I'm having. I'm like, I can do it, but how do I do it fast? I don't know. So there you go. Those are the tournaments. Guys, let me know what you think. I hope that your shard pulls went better than mine. We didn't even get a single one of the 10x champions. Although it was only 4 sacreds. It's not that many, but yeah, look, there we go. I've got 17 in the bank. We'll see will there be a guaranteed soon. We really are due one. Something to note, I will throw this in at the end, is that question of, would they do a Sylvan Watchers guaranteed champion? I really want Elva, but I feel like this is not something they would do straight away. I think it was actually, I was chatting to Smiley TK yesterday. Stay tuned for a collab with me and Smiley. I think it's coming out tomorrow. I think you'll really enjoy that. It's going to be really, really good. But I think with Shadowkin, they did do guaranteed Lady Kimmy, but it's about 6 months after the faction release. That was the first guaranteed champion. So they did Yoshi as a fusion, like right after. Basically, Shadowkin came out and bam, the next fusion was Yoshi, who was in the initial set. So I don't know what they're going to do with Sylvan. I'd expect a new legendary as a fusion, maybe in November or December. Possibly a login champion like Ultimate Death Knight from the new faction. I think that makes a lot of sense for, December. And in November, December, they did Alexander, the sharpshooter, last year in the same spot. I think that would make sense. But would they do it guaranteed now, or will they wait a few months? I do think Elva is a good pick for a guaranteed from Sacreds, like 6 months on, kind of like Lady Kimmy was. Well, she was Ancients, but you get the gist. And then Galkabar would be okay. I did a video on Ruark. You can check it out. I'm not really that excited about Ruark, to be honest, when we have an Ultimate DK. But there you go. We'll see. I don't want to promise any guaranteed events because they've been so sparse and they're doing mad stuff and really throwing us off. I think they went through a period where they were very consistent with a guaranteed, and now they're going through another period where they're being really inconsistent, and it's just they don't want us to know. I think is what's happening, but we'll see. Guys, there you go. Fun discussions here today. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.